My name is Erica Belcher, and I'm going to present some key data from our latest London Intelligence publication. This update looks at how London's economy is faring as we enter the fifth month since the coronavirus crisis began. London was hit hardest by the coronavirus at the beginning of the pandemic, back in March and April. Since then, the number of cases in the city has fallen quickly, and so far, London has avoided any new major outbreaks. Between April and August, London's daily case rate has remained lower than other UK cities, and similar to case levels seen in rural areas. This is perhaps counterintuitive to what would have been expected from a relatively young and dense city that's reliant on public transport to operate. Meanwhile, the economic impact of the crisis has continued to unfold and has been as harsh in the capital as in the rest of the country. 30% of London jobs have been furloughed at some point since the introduction of the scheme, the same as in the rest of the UK. But the London take-up figures look somewhat different once broken down by sector. London furlough rates were lower than UK ones in professional service, finance and insurance, and construction, but higher for domestic employers such as housekeeping or childminding. This reflects London's concentration of high-skilled occupations, much of which can be carried out from home, as well as in personal service occupations which support those high-skilled, high-paid jobs. While some furloughed employees have returned to active employment, others have sadly been made redundant. There were 2.5 times more Londoners claiming unemployment benefits as of June than at the beginning of the year, compared to 2.1 in the rest of the country. These benefits are available to those who are out of work and actively searching for new work. But recruitment in London's job market is still deeply depressed. Job adverts on the job search website Indeed were down 56% in the capital in July, compared to the same period last year. That's close to the UK average. Many Londoners and regional commuters have continued to work remotely, which has resulted in an uneven economic recovery. Ridership on the London Underground at the start of August was still 70% below normal levels, despite service provision across the network increasing. Travel into the City of London, airports, and tourist trips remained lower than other trip types, such as suburban travel, which means central London is facing a prolonged economic crisis, with in-store purchases still down 70% on their normal levels in July. This threatens London's global retail, cultural and hospitality sectors, and their workers, who tend to be on relatively low incomes. Some spending has shifted to local town centres, and to some extent large suburban centres too. For example, by mid-July, restaurant transactions were 17% above their January level in Southall, and clothing purchases were up 10% in East Ham. So far, London's recovery looks suburban. Last but not least, London seems to be experiencing a cycling boom, with numbers already back to normal on weekdays and up threefold at weekends. This is one area where the priorities of City Hall, London boroughs and government are aligned, and so there's real opportunity for this shift to continue. This is just a snapshot of the data in this issue of the London Intelligence, so be sure to read the rest on our website. We'll be updating this data roughly each quarter and adding new data as it comes in. This issue has been produced by Centre for London in association with the Policy Institute and the Centre for Urban Science and Progress, both at King's College London. Thank you for listening.